Aha, young wizard. What is it? What is it you want? Oh, I just wanted to compliment y'all, man. Like, gear sets, spell elements, the Grizzlehound spells, those are all pretty hype. We worked very hard on those ideas. I'm glad that you appreciated I'm very happy with that. I think a few of the wizards, they were wondering when some of those, might become a little less pay to win. Pay to win, you say? Yeah, maybe you can get them without money as, like, those Grizzleheim spells, you can only get them from a pack. Oh, no, young wizard. No, that's not how we do things here. Do you have any other questions, young wizard? Oh, that's all the time we have, bye! Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here, and welcome to a video that's I've been bothering. It's been bothering me that I haven't even made this yet. This is one of those videos that can only be made after you see a pattern of behavior rather than just an isolated event. I think there's a serious pattern of behavior that bothers me a lot with recent updates. Now, I know you've read the title. This video is about gear or spells or stats, pets, anything under the sun that makes PvP more pay to win. When we're saying pay to win, anyone who's really frustrated with the way it works is that if you spend extra money, that your chances of winning are much higher than your opponent. I don't really personally think any one change, any one thing can really make PvP pay to win. The problem, I think, is when a combination of things make the game more and more pay to win, and that's something that, unfortunately, I think it's getting worse now than it used to be. Right now, there are several things that when you put them all together, it paints the picture that the people with more money have a much higher chance of winning games than people who don't. Let's start off with something very simple. It's been bothering me a lot. The Brace Jewel. The Brace Jewel is one of the craziest things that they've ever added into the game because it genuinely says for $20 you can increase your win rate guaranteed. Now, do I think that the Brace Jewel alone makes the entirety of PvP pay to win? No. That's why this video was about a whole host of things that they've done. But this is a start. The only way to get this type of jewel is to pay money for it. Now, there are several solutions to this. If you really wanted to protect the value of something like this, here's something that's fun that it really does make this worth the money. If you unsocket it, you don't have to shatter it. That's like how these specific jewels work. You could so easily add a version of this, of a Defy jewel that adds a brace as a main cast, make it a very rare drop if you really need to make it seem valuable, and just make it no shatter. Not only would you be limited to the use of it on one character, you'd be limited to the use of it on one pet, but at the end of the day, at least it leaves some sort of path for you to get the jewel. And sure, you don't have to make things like the Brace Jewel, dropped at high rates from every boss in the game, but the fact that we have no jewels whatsoever that give a stat and give a make cast, I just think that's such an incredible waste. I think they should add a Myth Giver jewel that adds a Reliquary, or a Death Giver jewel that adds a Virulence. I think that would be a really cool concept. Maybe you could make it really hard to craft. Maybe you could make it a really hard to fish kind of thing. But that's only the start of what I have a problem with in this video. Spells are becoming pay to win. Right now, there are several spells that you can only get if you have money. Think about that. That's a crazy concept. Now, these aren't this doesn't affect every school. The problem, as I said kind of earlier in this video, is that it's a pattern that I think is ridiculous because it just says screw you to so many people. This Grizzleheim lore pack, in my opinion, is one of the biggest transgressions on a very good practice that they had before, and suddenly they abandoned it. How it used to be, right? If you look at all the other packs, like, let's say, I don't know, let's take a pack from before as any example, right? Let's take, I don't know, the Shaman's lore pack. You can apply this to the Keeper's lore pack, you can apply it to the Immortal's lore pack. All of these packs gave spells exclusively from the pack for a few months, but what they all have in common is that either soon after the release of the pack or a few months after the release of the pack, there was a craftable version of the spell. KingsIsle's attitude towards spells that came from packs used to be that you could get them earlier than other people if you had money, but if you don't have the money, don't worry. You'll be able to get the spell a little bit later. It's been nearly a year since the release of the Grizzleheim lore pack, and they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything in terms of getting free-to-play players, or I guess just people who don't buy excessive amounts of packs, a way to get the spell. Low pip life hit that attacks every person and a myth heal. Like, these are things that, one, can just help you do better in PvP, and two, they can help you actually like explore different strategies, stretch the limits of what your school is supposed to be. These are things that used to be available to everybody, and now they're only available to people with packs and luck. On the topic of spells, let's talk about spell limits. My life wizard got very, very lucky. Very lucky. I was very lucky to get a 30 drop of Leprechaun, and I just got very lucky to get the spell limit. It not only did collectively, I think as a stream, we opened like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 packs and got very lucky to get this. This is one of the most powerful advantages I've ever had against anybody. When I put a primordial on that Leprechaun and crit a heal with my stats, I can get almost 1,000 heal, and that's with stats that aren't even done yet. To be able to break a shield and clear off an infection, or just get tons of health, this is such a powerful advantage to have. Now the problem is, yes, some of these spellments can be dropped. The problem is that for the vast majority of people, the easiest way to get most of these spellments is from packs. And in terms of establishing a pattern, they've already established a pretty concerning pattern, because when you look at Daybreaker and Nightbringer, those, yes, they did drop from a pack, but they also came as drops, not easy drops. In fact, because you have to collect like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, they're not easy at all, but at least they drop. I've been farming Catacombs since it came out pretty much, and as you can see, look at this. I have 3-pip Nightbringer on a character, and I'm working on getting it on a second character, and the relatively rare Daybreaker, I'm actually about to get the 3-pip version of it. This is something that, yes, I could have opened up a bunch of packs for, but if I was just farming, at least I could get it. You can't say the same about all these spells. My problem is that not only are they not being transparent about how to actually get these spellments, which I think they have to do, because at the end of the day, you can say that, yeah, Leprechaun spellments drop, but from who? Like, a lot of people don't know that. I still don't know where Scorpion spellments even drop, even if I wanted to farm for it. We need transparency, and we also need it to just drop much more commonly across a wider spectrum of bosses. It should come as a result of playing the game, not just grinding one singular boss. Finally, let's talk about gear sets. Now, when they first released gear sets, I was really, really excited for it, and I still really, really am. Oh, my life wizard, look at this. We got the Dragoon boots, we got the Dragoon amulet, we got the Dragoon ring. If you go to the gear setup, look at this. That's extra accuracy, extra damage, extra pip conserve. It hasn't even been a month since that original gear set came out, and they've already made it clear that it's becoming more pay to win. First, they started off with Crown's gear, and as you can tell, if you look at this pet alone, right? This is part of a set that belongs to this Crown's wand. So literally not even a few weeks, I think, after the update with the original gear sets, it already went in the direction of how pets can suddenly be a part of a gear set, but only if you pay a crown. Now, if you don't believe me that that's an actual direction, all you gotta do is look at the newest bundle that they put out. In this bundle, not only are pets suddenly a part of the gear set, you know, you can put them in the gear set, now mounts are also part of the gear set. Not to mention, when you look at Crown's gear, the gear set adjustments that you're looking at are things that are extremely useful, like resist, but they're also being put behind paywalls. Whether you look at the newest Doomsday Croc Gauntlet, you can look at it. If you have 3 of these pieces, you can get 4 resist, or you can get 5 extra pip chance. Those are very much better than just a little bit of damage or a little bit of accuracy on the Dragoon gear. Now, the bundle itself that I was talking about, they only really added health, healing, stuff like that, which I'm glad that they didn't take it further and add like resist or damage or pierce or something really, you know, meaningful like that. I'm glad that they didn't go that direction, but I'm already troubled by the fact that, yeah, they added gear set upgrades to Dragoon gear, but they've already made it clear that the rules are better for how the gear sets upgrades work for packs, which start including pets. And they're even better for bundles, because you can get them on mounts. So you see that, you're starting to see how as the price tag goes up, the rules start to, you know, become brace-like. You know, the brace tool-like. Now you don't have to shatter it. When you combine spell elements, spells, jewels, and gear that all operate on a completely different set of rules just because you happen to pay money, you start to, you know, think about what I said earlier in the video maybe. It's not generally one thing that makes a game pay to win when you PvP, it's a combination. And what we're seeing right now is the development of a serious combination. I really fear the day where they release a bundle, where that bundle with a certain gear set will give you the best stat. I fear for the day where packs stop giving spells that you can craft anymore. I especially fear for the day where jewels start adding another talent instead of just a brace. What if they start adding a brace and a vengeance, or they add pierce to it, or they add damage? When you make gear more accessible for everyone and you make more spells accessible, what you get is a happier fan base. And it's not like you have to get rid of all the pay to get things. Make sure it's more convenient, maybe, to pay money to get spells. Maybe make it more convenient and not just outright pretty much the only choice we have if we want more powerful spells to get spell elements. Make it more convenient to get jewels by paying $20, but don't make it the only way. I just hope that all these small little upgrades don't keep getting swept under the rug, because eventually what you'll see is a combination of stats that are just clearly just possible because you paid. And I'm already starting to see that, and that's why I'm making this video. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the game is more pay to win now? Or do you think it's getting more pay to win? Or do you think that it's actually fine the way it is? This is just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Leave a sub if you're new. There's tons of links in the description, including my Twitch, my Twitter, my Discord, my Instagram, and my Patreon.
Thank you for all the love on Patreon.
As always, if somebody isn't told you're awesome today, they do something wrong, so stay awesome. And yeah, yo.